What happened? Good morning.
Let's go.
Welcome.
Let's go.
The crew is here. Braz, McCourty, Neek, Saturday, which means there's no bacon left upstairs on the floor. That is something we will address never. We will, however, gentlemen, start with this. Old Man Rivers and the Colts looking to bounce back from a very solid but yet shortcoming effort last week in Seattle. Niners in town. Here's the opening drive for the Colts as the entire family, that's not the extended family, that's just family, in attendance here. Colts opening drive, 2nd and 7. Alec Pierce.
Time. Phillip Rivers out there, 44 years old, throwing with anticipation and accuracy.
Niners perhaps in some trouble until this. 2nd and 8, their opening drive. Demarcus Robinson.
It almost looked like the same play. Got there a little quicker, though. A little bit of double dutch in the back of the end zone. Nice job, baby.
Video might have been sped up.
Ensuing kickoff. Here's Amir Abdullah. Now, this is where things started to go haywire a bit for the Colts. Niners recover the fumble. Take a look at that. So it went from a 7-0 lead just a few minutes later. San Francisco finds themselves 2nd and goal at the 2 Saturday. Here.
Got it.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey.
My head dropped down. I was like, we're going to be in for one, boys.
Why you make you do the 49ers touchdown? He could have let you do this one.
Rivers answers right back.
Dime.
There's Alec Pierce.
Dime.
50-cent piece.
An incredible game to start. Just drive after drive up and down the field. Here's Purdy scrambling right. He finds George Kittle. Touchdown.
Purdy's good.
Yeah.
Niners are going to end up going to the half with a 24-17 lead. Early third, Niners driving again. Here's Purdy to Jawan Jennings. This is Brock Purdy, Graz's fourth touchdown of the game.
He looked awesome last night. Imagine if they had him all year.
Might have had an anytime touchdown
right where they are.
right there because of you too, Joe.
There you go. Late in the third, Niners leading 31-20. This is bad news, probably the only bad news of the night for the Niners. Kittle goes down with an injury. He said after the game he doesn't think it's a high ankle sprain, but it is an ankle. More on that coming later. Fourth quarter now. Phillip Rivers trying to get the Colts back in this game. 2nd and goal at the 1. Let's go to Jonathan Taylor and finish the job there.
Good physical football right there. It feels like this still within reach. Phillip Rivers doing the fist pump. Everything's looking good.
Defense. Where is my defense?
They didn't show up yesterday.
McCaffrey offside. He 146 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Fantasy owners rejoice. Brock Purdy again. There's Christian McCaffrey. Might want to cover him.
They had a touchdown to play before.
He has 92 catches.
Yeah. Unreal.
He's
unbelievable.
Game's starting to get away from Indianapolis a little bit here. Rivers tries to bring him back. J-Mac, what happened here?
This was so impressive. Earlier in the fourth quarter, Phillip Rivers checks Orlando to the other side of the field, hits Warren in the middle. This time, D. Winters hears the same communication, and he's a step ahead. Fakes to the outside, comes back inside, intercepts this, and then does the rest. Defensive guys, we could be running backs once we catch it.
Absolutely.
Colts comeback effort falls short. Niners win 48-27. Here's Phillip Rivers after the loss.
There's no consolation, right? There's no prize for losing. But it was better this week. You know, from a standpoint of offensively and putting points on the board. But you got to win with it, like we said. And right now we're not getting that done. And I know this locker room's hurting.
49ers path to the 1 seed? Simple. Just win, baby, as Al Davis would say, and we'll hate to hear that we're referring to the team across the bay that way. Take care of business in their next 2 games against the Bears this weekend and the Seahawks in Week 18, and they will lock up the NFC's top seed. Here's head coach Kyle Shanahan.
Every time we've gone to OTAs, it's been all about trying to get to a Super Bowl, trying to win a Super Bowl, and I wanted to make sure that we didn't really talk that way this year. We needed to focus on just trying to be the best team we could be. I was just so proud that I actually now, last night, could congratulate them and actually talk about the playoffs because they earned that. They got in there, and now it's time to position ourselves to try to do something special in that.
For months, it has been about the Rams. It has been about the Eagles. It has been a little bit about the Seahawks. It has not been about the Niners. Are we looking at the NFC's 1 seed?
I think so. Listen, I'm going to say it this way. They're right there with the Seahawks to me. I like this football team. The energy that they're playing with right now, with Brock Purdy, the way he played last night, they carved up this Colts defense. The Colts defense had actually played well up until this point, and they carved them up. This is the playoffs. I think what people aren't thinking, you're playing the Bears, you're playing the Seahawks. You're going to see them again. Could see them in 2 weeks, could see them you don't know. But this is the playoffs. So as you're getting ready for these games, for it to all go through Santa Clara and the San Francisco 49ers home field, that's what they want. That's what they can get. It's all up to them.
Yeah, they have a quarterback that's playing as well as we've seen Brock Purdy play in his entire career right now. Combine that with the fact that there's so many flaws in the other teams in the NFC, I think it gives them some hope. But you look back at the success that they've had, it hasn't been against the most top-tier competition. So I don't want
Rivers in top tier. That's where we're at right now.
Rivers.
That's hateful. That's hateful.
He is top tier in the history of football, but the Colts right now, they're not the top-tier opponent that you expect. So they're going to get some tougher competition. It's going to be tough for that defense with all the injuries to stop the Bears' rushing attack. Yeah. And we'll see. But the Bears have weaknesses on defense also. So this is a wide-open NFC. But there's one team that seems to have separated themselves. That would be the Rams in that same division.
You had mentioned the idea that that's it for the road for the Niners. If they handle their business, they're at home this weekend. They'd be at home in Week 18. And then the entire Super Bowl path up until the Super Bowl would be in Santa Clara.
Including the Super Bowl.
Including the Super Bowl. Like, is this what we're looking at? Are the Niners the path to the Super Bowl?
I think when you look at that offense last night, it leads you to believe that. And not only Brock Purdy and the way he played, but just some of the design of the offense. All the motions with use check, how hard it is to defend and stay on top of them. I think when you flip that over, we kind of laughed about Phillip Rivers and some of the throws he was making. But for that 49ers defense, like Phillip Rivers had some plays and was carving them up to a certain extent with some of the things he was doing, and there was no pressure on him. So when you compare this 49ers team and then you talk about the Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold, if he's sitting back there with no pressure, what he can do. So, yes, I like the 49ers. I love what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. You mentioned it in our meeting. They haven't punted in 2 games with what they're doing. But I'm still looking at Seattle, who's in that 1 seed right now, and I like them a little bit more.
Roz, how about the job Shanahan's doing?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like this guy's obviously at the top of his profession. And he hasn't cashed it in with a Super Bowl yet, and I think people wonder when that happens. But when you look at what they've gone through this year, they are playing and have been for a very long time without their 2 best players on defense, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, who would be the 2 best players on a lot of people's defenses if they're on. They have 18 sacks as a team this season. That's 4 fewer sacks than Myles Garrett has this season. So they're getting it done somehow. The offense is functioning at a high level, but the offense had to play a long stretch without Purdy.
That's right.
And still had success. They haven't had
Kittle.
Brandon Ayuk has basically retired without telling anybody, and like they haven't really had their team. One of the most incredible storylines this season is the only 49er that's been healthy is Christian McCaffrey. They didn't have Kittle for a little while either.
Right.
So yes, unbelievable. He should be at or near the top of the Coach of the Year balloting. There's so many good candidates: Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, etc. But what Kyle Shanahan's doing there, and like everybody woke up yesterday afternoon like, what do you mean they can get the 1 seed just by winning their games? They're in 3rd place. That doesn't make any sense. But interesting to hear Kyle talk about how the approach was different this season.
Coach of the Year odds currently at the top. You have Mike Vrabel. Mike McDonald in Seattle is tied with Kyle Shanahan. Then it's Liam Cohen. Then it's Ben Johnson.
Let me say this about the 49ers as well. I think the thing that I like most about them is last night, right? Like Phillip Rivers is a bad matchup for them, right? Because they're a young defense. They don't do a lot. Like they don't. And so he could put the Colts in the perfect play, right? Now, can he execute every play perfectly? No, but he can get you to the right ones. He sees it. Now he made a mistake late. It was a pick 6, but. When he goes and plays Caleb Williams, when they go play Sam Darnold, can those quarterbacks do the same thing? That's what you're asking, is can those guys put themselves in the best play? Because I felt like last night, it got to be a track meet because of the experience of Phillip Rivers, not because of the physicality of it. Because I would have thought they wouldn't run against the 49ers. But instead, they have a drop back, throw it all over the yard type game, which hasn't really been exposed, or the Niners haven't been exposed that way. It's more the run defense. So I was impressive. I just don't know that back-to-back weeks quarterbacks can do the same.
Let's stay here on Phillip Rivers. The box score looks pretty good, but you watch the game. Is this the type of guy that could come back and be their quarterback next season?
Quarterback?
Quarterback, yeah. I wanted to take it from here to here.
Nah, I'm gonna say I think we should take a second to appreciate how impressive it is that he's done something. How beautiful it is as an old man to watch another old man go out there. It had me for a second, like, man, maybe I could. And then I saw some of them throws and was like, nah. Because like after the first play of the game, I think we were made aware. They tried to go deep on the first play and he couldn't reach the receiver, and that happened 3 or 4 times through the course of the game where it felt like they wanted to attack downfield. They wanted to show the 49ers that you can't squat on these routes, and we will be able to punish you deep, and he just couldn't quite get the ball there. So, I mean, he could be a part of the organization in some capacity, but not as a starting quarterback.
Can we also take time to appreciate the back-to-back turtleneck that?
Oh, it is.
I was watching
Turtleneck Tuesday, baby.
We want to appreciate. We want to appreciate that.
Yesterday was gingerbread. Today is Grinch. That's what
I like it. I like it.
I love it. To your point, yes, like Phillip Rivers, there were some throws there as you're watching it, but the first part you said, some of these throws he was making. Remember, a week ago, we watched him in Seattle, and they refused to throw the ball down the field at all. I think he was averaging like less than 5 yards per throw. Last night, we at least saw them attempt, and we saw him make some passes down the field that maybe didn't look pretty, but with anticipation, knowing what to get him in, he got the job done to a certain extent. And, Jeff, you mentioned it. What he was able to do at the line of scrimmage throughout the course of that game, we kind of take it for granted because we're like, yeah, of course, Phillip Rivers, he's been doing it for so long. But we don't see that every Sunday of quarterbacks with that ability to do it. Yes, we saw Peyton and Tom and all of those guys do it for so long. So it was very impressive to me to watch what Phillip was able to do.
I got to believe the deep throws was a function of the opponent, right? Like they know he's going to have some time to go deep against a team that comes in with 16 sacks. Versus Seattle last week, which has a pass rush. Jacksonville next week, which has a pass rush. I think that probably has a lot to do with it. What they wanted out of Phillip Rivers was a guy that could make the checks at the line, that could get them in and out of the right and wrong plays, and he seems to be doing that. But obviously he's limited in what he can do physically, and as a result, the offense is limited. It's just like people have to understand, like this is so divergent from Plan A for Indianapolis. Like it's not even close. Like this
45-year-old quarterback wasn't Plan A?
A complete desperation move that they felt they had to do. You don't think they had to do it?
I don't know, man. Like when I see it. Like last night's plan to me, like I loved the Seahawks plan. They gave the ball to Jonathan Taylor, I don't know, 30 times, whatever it was, an insane amount of touches. Hey, we're going to make it an ugly game. We're going to get this thing late. Last night it was like, oh, we're going to go match arm for arm. It don't work out. Like at 44, it doesn't work out that way. And especially when you're talking about changing plays. So let me just give you an example, right? I played with Peyton Manning for all those years. We would have 7 different calls for that Orlando call. We ain't using Orlando left and then Orlando right, okay? Like it's because there are really smart guys who go on the other side. So if you're in the building longer, maybe it's a better. But the problem is that you're doing it all in fast forward. Listen, I love Phillip Rivers. He has been an inspiration. Why not Riley Leonard? I have no idea. Like whatever your expectation was, because guess what? There's another season next year, and we're no further to knowing, do we have anybody in the locker room that's going to continue this thing forward after the Sauce Gardner trade? Like, this is not good. And I get it's inspirational, but we're 0-2, all right? And really, we were in a spiral well before that. When I say we, the Colts, we're in a spot.
Now, you don't got to pretend, Jeff.
I'm hurt.
We can feel emotion, brother.
Your name's up there.
I'm freaking hurting, dog.
Wild to think of where they were and where the AFC South was just 6 weeks ago. And now it's been flipped upside down. You mentioned 98%. Brandon Ayuk not showing up for the Niners. How about this? DK Metcalf doesn't look like he'll be showing up for the Steelers. The suspension that was handed down yesterday, risking more than 2 games. Our crew is going to break it down next. Plus, Golden Fury, chaos on the sideline.